innovative content, global audience.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and you're welcome to this special edition of On the Sofa. And I'm your girl, Somto Black. In case you're joining us for the very first time, On the Sofa is a show where we bring in entrepreneurs, share their entrepreneurship journey just to inspire someone out there. And here in the studio for today's edition, I have an amazing and amiable guest. Meet my guest for today, Chef.
Okay, so it began. I mean, of course, I grew up from a family where my grandmother used to have a restaurant, and that's what she used to raise all her children. But my aunt has a restaurant, and so most of the holidays I used to go and train with her. And I'm glad that my mom saw that I love to cook. So some of my holidays, I would go to ITF, to do short courses and all of that with ITF. And then, I think she had enrolled me in some culinary school as well, some baking school. And so, yeah, I think that's where it started. It just started like me going to those schools. And then,
Okay, beautiful. So, what now inspired you to start your restaurant formally?
Okay. So let me take it back a bit. So in secondary school, I used to make food for all my friends. I would just be like, when we have food and nutrition, my friends would not finish their raw materials, so that
Like the raw food?
yeah, so that they can
stuff.
give me
Okay.
after the practicals to make
Okay.
food for them.
Are you serious?
So truly, I used to do it with all joy.
And you did charge for that?
No, I didn't even monetize anything. I didn't
Wow.
think people used to make money from cooking.
Are you
And
serious?
so got out of high school, and one day I used to work in a magazine company. And then one day my friend called me and said, "Oh, Gibbs, I need to see you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem." She was like, "No, no, no, I just have serious things I want to discuss with you." And I'd been cooking for her, hosting her events and all of that. And one day she just told me, "If I think that it's time to, start up a business with, out of cooking, get monies from it. You're good, and of course, you will learn at the job, and you'll also, go to some training and brush up what you already know." And so months and months and months, I kept on saying I was scared, I was scared, I was scared. One day I was just sitting there in my house, and they came with plates,
Oh my
stickers,
Oh my
everything, the
Wow.
utensils.
That
I
was-
didn't
You
even.
must cook by force.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
Yes,
Oh,
you
wow.
must. In fact, they got me my first client, which I'm
Wow.
very grateful for. It's become family now.
So your friends really motivated you into
Exactly.
starting up your
Exactly.
restaurant. Wow, that's
Exactly.
beautiful.
Very beautiful.
That's beautiful.
So
You have amazing celebrations.
I do. I always boast about them. They know that I always say that I have very good friends
Wow.
who support me. Yeah. So I mean that's how I started with force, but now I'm also happy that they motivated me to, they gave me that push that I needed to, start up the business. And it's not been easy, but we're moving.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. So, as a beginner, what were the challenges you faced initially, and how were you able to overcome them? One of the core reasons, in fact, the core reasons why we host this show is for the speakers, or rather the guests, to inspire the people out there. So, what were those challenges you faced at the initial stage, and how were you able to overcome it? To overcome them, rather.
Okay. Oh, sorry. One of the challenges that I faced, to be honest, was time. Time management was such a big deal for me.
Okay.
It was a struggle. Time management. Sometimes I would say, "Oh, the food will be available at 2 hours," and then I would end up spending 3 hours. Because I didn't have all the
Knowledge.
and knowledge at the time
Oh.
to there are tricks to this thing.
And I think you didn't have enough hands.
Exactly.
Oh.
I was just starting up. I didn't want to get extra. So it's Nami go cut onions. Nami go.
Now you go do go
Now
to now you go
everything.
market.
Nami go market. And Nigerians, we are very unique people. We don't place our orders on time. But we don't also tell the when we're reporting this case, we don't say
tell
that we don't tell the people
The time was very short.
that the time was short that you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
So you are there trying to be a superwoman. Your way, time you come, your clients giving you bad schools. So of course, when I started, I didn't have any help from anywhere. So I was the one doing everything, market runs, cooking, you know. So time management was
very.
and I didn't have access to all of the equipment that I needed to be fast. And so, of course, you know, we live in a wonderful country that lights too sometimes, and then sometimes your generator is tired and needs to rest. So, of course, those are these things that I faced. Those are these little challenges I faced.
Did you have any challenge with finances?
Not really. I wouldn't say I had. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a new business. I needed all the money to come in.
But you made mention of you didn't have enough
equipment.
items.
Yes. So sometimes you buy certain things, and then you have much bigger orders, and you need more things. So finance truly was, you know, one of, but it was not a major. It wasn't a major challenge. I think my major challenge was time management and, you know, power supply. I think that was my.
So you know, as a beginner at that stage, you didn't really have access to clients. You know, one of the, let's say, challenge of a startup business is that fear of who is going to patronize me. So, and for food business, I think I'm not a chef, but you know, Nigeria, you can be an actor by profession, but a chef by frustration. So once in a while, during my uni days, I ventured into cooking. One day I finished cooking and I sold only one plate out of 20 packs. I was so frustrated that I shared it for my roommates. So did you face challenges like that?
Not really.
Why? How were you able to manage it?
Because I have like a lot of friends. I have, you know, because me, I like to call myself a serial entrepreneur.
Serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You do a lot of things.
Exactly. I've done both before. I have done, like, I think the only thing I've not done is to sell human parts. But yeah, I always tell myself that I would do all the things. I will monetize all the things that
you do. Wow.
I think that's one of the reasons why I like Toyin Lawani, because when I see her, I think I see there's something in her that reminds me of who I am.
The story is really inspiring.
Yeah, so I have done both before. I have, you know, I've sold cars. There was time I was learning because I love cars. I know a lot of things. I mean, on the average, I would say I'm very good with cars. So I've sold cars before. I said to learn the business. I sold clothes and all of that. When I was in high school, when I was in uni, I used to sell clothes. A lot of people didn't even know my name, but they would say, "Oh, that girl that goes around selling things." So I used to have so I know a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of people. So for me, getting clients when I started was not.
You had the connection, you had the network.
Exactly, I had the network.
So for an aspiring chef, you need to build your network.
Exactly.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And to tell you, Nigerians, sometimes we are ashamed to tell people what we do. Don't be ashamed to tell people what you do, because people will take your business the way that you take it.
True.
So if you're not intentional about your business, nobody will be intentional about it, because you are the only one that knows the vision.
People will take your business the way you take it.
Yeah.
So you need to, whatever thing you want to see from your customers, you need to initiate it first. That's the very powerful point. So you can continue.
So yeah. So for me, getting clients wasn't a problem.
Okay.
So now it was just left for me to make sure I keep to time, create good recipes, you know, and give people value for their money. That's one thing that my business
Thank you. That was what I was going to ask you. You know, there's a very big difference from my friend patronizing me just because you're my friend. But if you're not getting that value,
they won't come back.
You won't come back.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, so how do you retain your clients?
So most of my clients know. I wouldn't tell you guys all the secrets, but most of my clients knew that, you know, one thing our brand stands for is intentionality.
Okay.
We're very intentional. Yeah, we're very intentional.
I wish you had that intentionality.
We're very intentional about all our clients. Whether you are buying the lowest to the highest, we are very intentional about our clients, and we treat our clients as royalty. There's a way that we serve,
regardless of what you're buying.
Yeah.
Because you know this is Nigeria. If you want to buy, maybe you place an order of 12K. Someone just walks in and places, maybe this guy is very hungry. He just wants a snack. Telling you, stand here, you know. So
we don't do that.
We don't get to see those kind of things in minutes. Chow.
Yeah. because your business is a reflection of who you are.
Who you are. Thank you.
The business is a reflection of who you are. So when I hear people say, "Oh my God, your business! You guys are so polite. You guys are so intentional, and you guys literally would think about your clients." So let me give you an instance. So one day I'd gone, a friend of mine had referred my business to somebody and said, "Oh, you need to try Guinea's afam. It is wonderful." And he was an elderly man, and he reached out to me and said, "Oh, XYZ person said, I should try your afam." And I was like, "Okay." Well, we discussed and we, got to an agreement. And he was like, "Oh, can you deliver at 5 o'clock? I'll still be at work. I will work till 6 o'clock." And I said, "Okay, no problem, sir." So we delivered at 5. But the thing that my business did now was, when we delivered that food, we packed dinner for him in a separate plate so that he wouldn't need to dig into the bigger bowl. So we took out some part of the food. We did the swallow,
That's really
and we packaged it well.
Save them the stress of dishing it
Exactly.
out.
So that's one of the things that I'm very proud of my business about. Like, we are very intentional about our customers, and we don't take them for granted because they keep us in business. So, and I think I didn't even know, because that's our culture, that's who we are. I didn't even know that he was very grateful on what we did. But 2 days later, my friend called me and said, "Oh, the man has been ranting about that nobody has ever done that for him. Nobody would have thought."
One thing about these high profile people, they may not say it in your presence,
Yes,
but they took notes.
exactly.
So having a niche and standing out, having something to stand you out in your business, is what actually sells you.
Exactly.
So my very next question: have you tried out new recipe? This is now Nini's chow recipe. Have you tried out? I think I was telling you sometime about the suya yogurt. Yes. Have you tried out new things? Have you tried to be more innovative with your craft?
Yes, I have. So what when we went outside. So thankfully, I think it was last month, um, 2 months ago actually. So, an idea just came up to me that I should form a team of critics. Some of my friends from my friend circle, people who will genuinely tell you the
I
truth.
think you're
because
very.
they watch you.
I don't think I know you're very intentional. So
I
I've
am
gone to
extremely
that
intentional.
extent of creating a group for people to criticize you, because sometimes what you do is not for your. Of course, not sometimes, all the time.
It's not for yourself.
What you do is not for your consumption. So the essence of feedback is key. It's key.
So we created a group of people,
Okay.
friends that I know. So we supply them food. Most times when we have the special recipes, we want people to try out to their offices and to their homes, and so they give us they criticize us like, they don't hate us. I mean, because we don't want the people out there to
say it,
they will not be
yes.
nice and they won't come back again. So we don't want that.
If you're my very good friend, I'll be the first person to tell you,
Exactly.
babe, your mouth this way. You understand?
Exactly.
I'm not really saying it out of hate. Is that what you mean?
No, yeah, you are not saying out of hate, because you don't want it will be more embarrassing for somebody out there to tell you.
Very true.
And they will not come back. They will not come back. And every client matters.
Every client matters. So every client matters.
So, and it's been working. It's actually been working. So we have three special menus open at the moment right now.
Your own
Yes,
innovation.
our own innovation.
How has been the turnout?
It's been good.
The orders.
It's been good.
Order
We have
very-
low days. We have days that people are not ordering. We also have days that we're saying, "Hey, our back they break." And we also have days that, just like every other business,
Yeah,
you have
sure.
good days, you have not so good days. But in all, are you learning? Are you getting better? In those days we're not working, we're using it to create new recipes for your stomach. So, I mean, that's how we do it.
That's powerful. So have you tried collaboration? Because you mentioned something earlier. You said you've been into a couple of businesses before you finally ventured into cooking, niched it down to cooking. So have you tried collaboration? If you haven't, what were your fears, or what are your fears?
So we haven't tried out, we have tried out collaboration. So now we are a traditional restaurant.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that we don't do other things, but that's our strength.
All right.
So you know that you have to work with your strengths. So now we have people who say, "Oh, we want continental dishes." We have people who are good in that we work with. Do you understand? And so that's the only collaboration right now that we do. Yes, I know that last year we had ventured into some people who ordered certain amount, like a particular amount of food. got right to different places. So I mean that a lot of people were happy. Some of our customers, came back and said, "Oh, XYZ person called me that they are from Nini's Child, and we have a free ride, home from work." So
Okay, I have this very not my last question, but how do you handle a bigger order? For example, if you are the hired chef to work at the villa for an event, a big event, are all the food going to be coming from Nini's Child? Or are you rather are you going to go into collaborations with others just to deliver?
so I'm a strong believer of sometimes greed, spoils the business. So if I had a massive order that I knew that I could not, I and my team, because I mean now thank God has blessed us. We have people who work with us. So if I know that the staff capacity
Cannot handle this
handle it,
order.
we because of quality control,
Okay.
we would not we would outsource it, but you will not be outside, you will be with us. So we're buying that time. So if it's 4 hours you're going to take to make that meal, you make it with us,
Beautiful.
so that we are
So
able
you can
to
get the same
quality
recipe and beautiful.
so that we are monitoring the quality. Because
Yes.
sometimes
I was going to say that because, for example, if Nini's Kitchen is I'm working or collaborating with Vinfi's Kitchen, and Vinfi's Kitchen standard is below Nini's Kitchen. It's not going to be a plus to
Exactly.
your business. So beautiful. So
we
what
always
you do is you just buy their time and monitor it. That's beautiful.
and we all share the profit, and everybody goes home happy,
Happy.
and your client is happy. And I mean, when your
That's a
clients
very
are happy, you're
smart
happy.
way to collaborate.
Yes,
That's
that's
beautiful. So for an aspiring chef out there who probably wants to go into this business but doesn't know how to start, what can you say to this person?
I feel like one of the things that I tell people, in fact, in any business, literally, but since I am a cook now, I would say in the cooking industry, it's fastly growing.
Okay.
So tag along with somebody. Tag along with somebody who somehow shares the same vision with you.
In other words, mentorship. Submit to
somebody.
mentorship.
I mean, a lot of us are not good in submitting.
Yeah, what generation? This is Gen Z. Nobody wants to be under any person.
Mental health.
And even
all
when
of
you,
that.
oh my God, even when you want to be under somebody, you don't last. You get this generation is in a hurry. So for you to
But
start,
you can't be in a hurry
to
to
tag
succeed.
along. You need a mentor.
So you need a mentor. So that's one thing I
Because I pretty know that a mentor is like a father. You don't need to go through that hurdles again.
exactly
You're now buying it for free.
for free.
For free. His experience, his years of
And
experience.
sometimes there are mentors who are so glad that you're learning from them.
Of course.
There are mentors that I met that they are extremely glad that you a young person, you're walking up to them to say, I know Baba, you know this thing. I want to learn from you.
You were at the about conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I had a lot of things about the older. I believe pretty well that what the older people owe us is mentorship.
Exactly.
And we live in a time where people do not want to
Be
put their head under anybody. But if you have that opportunity, especially when you're getting it for free, don't take it for granted because that particular service
Makes you finish, not enter.
makes you feel. Thank you.
I mean, I try to manage that because most of my mentors we are very close, and because
So
of
you
me,
didn't get to
my
pay a
person-
dime.
I didn't
for-
have to pay them. But what I do is that I don't take it for granted. And most times
Yes.
I don't miss their birthdays, their anniversaries. There is a way to draw men to yourself.
Oh wow.
There is a way to draw men to yourself. So a lot of people would say, how are you able to do
what's even about
all the
this?
things that you are
Yes.
able to do? And I said, because I know I have studied building relationships.
It goes beyond the skill.
Yeah.
It goes
So you
beyond
cannot
the
just call them every time that you need them, and you think that they will stand
You
up
don't
and
take
leave
the assets for granted.
Exactly.
Yes.
You don't, because a lot of people are paying heavily for it.
Heavily for it.
So if you're having it for free, and even if you're having it for a fee, don't take
Learn
it for
to
granted.
grab
Be
it.
serious about it. Sometimes they'll give you
appreciate them
assignments.
too.
Okay, learn to appreciate them. I don't miss birthdays. I don't miss
Thank you.
anniversaries. I don't miss festive periods to wish them well and to tell them that they are making a valuable impact in my
your
life. So I play with no words, with all sense of responsibility. I don't take it for granted when people take out their time to guide you through a challenging world. So you too must do your own part because there's a part that you have to play. as the mentee, you have your own part to play.
Okay, so one very last question for you. It was really, really, really
Thank you.
thought provoking and inspiring having you on my show today. I pretty learned a lot, and I believe everyone out there did as well. So, one very last question for you: where do you see Nini's child in the nearest future? Let's say in 5 years' time,
I see us breaking out to other states.
to other states.
I see us breaking out to other states, especially especially the north. I see us breaking out to other states, and having like a big restaurant, where people can come and eat and enjoy culture. I'm a very cultural person. I don't look like it, but I
Where are
am
you from,
very
sir?
cultural.
Oh wow! Ah, that's your
I'm a very cultural
Calabar,
person.
Cross River,
Cultural.
Uyo, Akwa
Exactly.
Ibom. You guys are good chefs.
Yeah, but I am also very big on culture. Very big on culture. So I hope to have a restaurant where people will come in and enjoy different blends of culture, dances, and all of that. We don't have that here in Nigeria, where you go in and you see, there's a thing about going to a place and you see people who can speak your language. There's a joy
Eat
that
your
comes,
food. You see
and
your
you
food.
see your food.
Like going to the US now, you're seeing a tikaiko. You're seeing
excited.
People, yeah.
You're excited.
Yeah.
So we are looking at having more restaurants that sell some of the things that we make, and then having cultural vibes, literally cultural vibes, and for the special need people too. I'm very, maybe because I've also worked in an NGO where
I was
we
going
were,
to ask that question.
yeah.
Beyond the business side of your craft, is there any charity
Yeah, we do.
stuff
Yeah.
attached to
We do.
it?
We
Okay.
do.
That's
So
great.
every January, there's something that we do. We give foods to people, and then of course sometimes I volunteer with the Albino Foundation. Sometimes, just to give back to society, and in a little way, So I've also come to understand the people living with disability, and one of the things that my business is going to do when we have a much bigger space is to have even the blind people can actually walk into our restaurants, and they would have all the necessary equipment that they need to place an order. So we want an inclusive restaurant,
Beautiful.
basically, with zero racist discrimination.
Yeah.
So everybody is
It's
welcome
equal.
and
Yeah.
equal, and then you enjoy your meal,
Wow.
and then you live happy.
Wow, 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 wow. That was a very beautiful session with you. Good to have you once more. Good to have you once more. Nini's Chow. For my viewers out there, this is the CEO of Nini's Chow. Do well to place your order. Can you tell us where you're located?
So we're located in Jabi.
Okay.
Right now we're rebranding our social media, but of course you can call me on the numbers that will be displayed on your screen, and be sure that we will give you a warm welcome. Thank you.
All right, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain for today's edition. I hope you learned one or two things. And until I come your way, still so